Now it's time for the press review. Going to start off with some updates on the Louvre heist that developed over the weekend. The press, of course, are full of it, aren't they, Emily?
Well, 2 suspects were arrested this weekend, and that means that the story is back on some front pages this morning in France, starting with Le Figaro. Here, it says that the police are closing in on the robbers. One was arrested at Charles de Gaulle Airport on Saturday evening as he was about to get on a flight to Algeria, and the other one was arrested in Seine-Saint-Denis near Paris. Le Parisien is also talking about it on their front page here with a photo of the investigators gathering evidence. The paper says that the suspects were experienced thieves who were previously known to French authorities. Le Monde is also going through some of this evidence here. It says that police used more than 150 DNA samples and security camera footage to track the criminals down. It says the suspects are in their 30s. One is a French national and the other is a French-Algerian national too. Now, the New York Times is also looking into the case here, and they say it might be an inside job. This article features interviews with 3 former jewellery thieves who all have experience of stealing millions of dollars worth of loot, and 2 of them think that the robbers had to have known someone on the inside to get away with such a daring heist. And it seems that the pros might be right. This is an article here in the Telegraph which says that the Louvre heist could have been an inside job. It says that detectives have uncovered evidence that suggests that they knew people on the inside. A source said that crucial information about the museum's security systems had been leaked, and says there's new evidence that suggests cooperation between a Louvre security guard and the robbers. Now, all remains to be seen, but for the Swiss illustrator Chapat, he says that the heist is an art of work in itself.
Very true. Get away with, you never know, perhaps they won't. Argentina now, we talked about it in the news, of course. Javier Milei winning this crucial midterm election. What are the papers saying? Well,
let's look at the Argentinian press, and starting with Clarin here. They're calling it Milei's surprise victory. Milei won big in the province of Buenos Aires and across most of the country. His Freedom Advances party won almost 41% of the vote, and more than doubling its representation in Congress. The paper says that the midterm elections were widely seen as a referendum on Milei's administration, and the result will give him the political boost he was looking for. Staying in Argentina with La Nación here, with the same photo of his celebratory speech there. The conservative paper explains the reasons behind his triumph. It says that, quotes, the aggressive and sometimes verbally violent president has come to the end of a cycle of arrogance and he can now go back into survival mode. The paper says that the lack of serious alternative parties and candidates could explain the result. Staying in Argentina, still with El Liberal here, it has this analysis piece and it asks if the result will feed into the government's national agenda. The article says that the government has to relaunch its administration and come up with an ambitious development plan. Finally, the Wall Street Journal has this article here today. It says that Milei has won a mandate for his free market revolution. The result gives Milei political momentum after months of unrest over spending cuts and recession. It also helps Milei's relations with Washington and the International Monetary Fund, which, quotes, have tied financial support to the survival of Milei's austerity experiment.
This is something different for you, just in time as well for Halloween, which of course is just a couple of days away. Japan is seeing a rise in deadly bear attacks. They're haunting the country. What's this about, Emily?
Well, let's have a look in the South China Morning Post. Quite a topical article here. Japan's deadliest year for bear attacks resurrects century-old nightmares. 10 people have been killed this year in Japan's northern forests. And now this increase in bear attacks is due to poor acorn harvests and late bear hibernation. Apparently, the article says that these attacks have brought back memories of the 1915 Sankebetsu massacre, when 7 people were killed by a brown bear called Kesegake. Now, Japanese authorities are reacting to these attacks and have published a list of recommendations of pro tips on how to survive bear encounters, which I thought might be useful. Now, this article explains that there are 2 types of bear encounters: defensive encounters and predatory encounters. If you come across a bear, you should avoid eye contact, walk slowly backwards. Both running and climbing up trees are to be avoided. Now, if mauling seems inevitable, then lying face down on the ground apparently is your best option. And authorities also recommend carrying bells around or whistling loudly whilst walking, which I think just helps the bears find you, but that's apparently a recommendation.
You've got one behind you, Emily. Get down on the ground. Get down on the ground. You never know. And finally, from Emily, scary beasts seem to be terrorising Shropshire in the UK as well.
Yes, more terrorising animals in times for Halloween here, but it's actually quite a cute story here in the Shropshire Star. It's the local tradition, the cutest Halloween tradition around Shrewsbury's annual Sausage Dog Halloween Walk. And now more than 100 dogs and their owners took part. I've got a few nice pictures for you here, like a little wizard sausage dog there looking very sweet, and then this little girl looking very proud of her pumpkin pup.
Halloween sausage dogs.
Yes.
Very nice. Emily Foyle with the papers for us here on France 24. I suspect we might have quite a few other Halloween stories coming up over the next week or so here on France 24, of course. A lot more coming up for you after the break. We're going to talk about photography, war photography, turning into art photography, if you like, with a new museum at the Jeu de Paume here in Paris, which has just opened. And, of course, all the rest of the main news and focus reports as well, all coming up for you in the next half hour here on France 24. So do stay with us if you can.